I'm Elder Shawn. Today's devotion is about how much God is invested in your life. And to confirm this truth, we're going to compare lesser things to greater things. This will be an a fortiori proposal that if God is invested in lesser things, then He will be even more invested in greater things. So let's consider the lesser things, like the sparrows, those little birds that fly around our neighborhood. Jesus mentions them in Matthew 10:29, where He says, "Are not sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from the will of our Father." Here Jesus teaches a lesson from these tiny birds, which are not much larger than the palm of your hand. Back then, they were so tiny and so numerous that Israel took advantage of them, for they were caught for food. They considered them delicacies, tiny hors d'oeuvres. Others saw them as business opportunities, selling them for food, sacrifices, and even pets. In fact, these tiny winged creatures were so great in number and so available that they were sold very cheap, 2 for a penny. And so it would seem that the lives of these little creatures were insignificant, as they were used for multiple purposes and sold for almost nothing. But it is their very insignificance that adds deep significance to Jesus' teachings. For He declares that God still takes notice of these tiny birds. Jesus says, "Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from the will of your Father." Their seemingly unimportant and forgotten lives are not forgotten by God, and even included in His concern and His will. In fact, let's confirm that God is with them even before they fall to the ground and to their death, because God is there even as they hop around on the ground. In fact, the concept of hopping is actually embedded in the word fall. You see, in the original Greek, the word fall can be translated as hop. And so picture the little bird just hopping around randomly and with no apparent noble purpose, but still, God is watching over them. And so their hopping around becomes an a fortiori proposal that if God is that much more invested in them, then how much more is He invested in your life? The powerful assumption is that your life is worth so much more and has much more meaning and significance. In fact, Jesus confirms this with the phrase, "your Father." He speaks of the sparrows, but describes God as your Father, which emphasizes that God is not removed and distant, but is closely invested in your life as your Father. If you are meeting in a group, you can pause to discuss this powerful theology of God's investment in your life. Discuss how God's personal concern and love for you is something you must acknowledge. Share your testimonies of your awareness of His investment, and discuss how even Christians have very low views of themselves and how that must change in the light of His investment. Confirm His care for you and pray and give thanks. Let's confirm today the meaning and significance of your life to your Father. For if God is that much invested in little birds, He is certainly more invested in you. Until next time, remember God's personal investment in you and how He watches and guides you towards the greater purpose for your life.
Thanks for joining us for a devotional drink today. If you love almond lattes, click here to subscribe so you know when the next one is ready to enjoy. Visit our website for resources for every chapter of your life. And if you're thirsty for more, click here. See you next time. May God bless your day.